Hi everybody, welcome to my class tour video. I am really sorry that the other video got lost. Hopefully lots of you watched it before it disappeared. If not, hopefully this class tour video will help you. My classroom is nearly ready for the children to come to school in September. This is how I have my classroom in September. Obviously it changes as the children develop and as they grow throughout the year. So come into my classroom. The first corner that I will show you is the science corner. Lots of you had questions about this display. So I like to keep all of my displays really simple, really directed at the children. Everything on the display is to help the children with their learning. So first of all, I always include the vocabulary prominently in the middle of the display where the children can see it. And I try to keep the display quite low and near to the table so that it's at child height. So that if they want to get really close up to the words, they can. And then to cover science inquiry, on one side, as a scientist, we will, and then these are the inquiry types: ask a question, perform a test, and they're all in there. And we choose which one and we pop it up on there. And on the other side, how we're going to answer that. So our investigation that we're going to do, identify, classify and group, or observe over time, and I just peg them up to show which one we're using, and I refer to it every lesson, and eventually as the children learn they are able to explain those themselves. Post-it notes go on here for their predictions at the beginning, and we make a little prediction or what we think is going to happen, and then at the end we do another post-it note which shows what we found out. Sometimes the children record the post-it notes themselves if they're able to write on them. If not, they can record it orally and an adult will write it on a post-it note and pop it up on the display. This table is quite big because the science activities are quite popular. At the moment, I haven't got an activity ready on there. Usually for the first week or two, it's just looking at the scientific books, and I put lots of the scientific books in one area so that it's really high focus on the types of books that we could call scientific books. So I include some National Geographic in there as well. And generally the children spend the first couple of weeks here having a little look at the science books and talking about scientists. I try to always include in this little stand a famous scientist. Sometimes it's linked to our unit. We did animals, so it was Sir David Attenborough. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's particular interest or a scientist that a child is particularly interested in. Sometimes I might try and choose a female scientist for the children to get to know some of the scientists' names. Okay, as you can see, my classroom is set out generally in areas, but actually throughout the whole classroom I still have clipboards and books and access to pens and pencils in every part of the classroom. And it's really important that wherever the children are in the classroom, they are understanding that they are learning all of the time and that all of the areas are as important as each other.